Man, what's up, everybody? You're tuned in to another episode of Off the Yard. Today we're talking about the gay boy gangsters, man. And this is a doozy as well, man. And I'm gonna talk about how the homosexual car of the prison system decided they were gonna click up and and start a gang, right? Gladiator gang. You're up the bat, baby. Let's go. Real quick, man, just to drop this in there. I did a live the other day, and it was more like, yeah, I didn't like the way that went down. So the reason I did the live was because of this, though. In the next 4 weeks, 3 weeks or so, we have to move. We're gonna have to find a place to move. The lease is up, right? So, but unfortunately, as well as that, we had an incident where the car got totaled. It wasn't anyone's fault but the person that hit our car, and we're gonna eat it. So, we need a new car as well. Obviously not a new car, trying to find something cheap to get us through the holidays, and then we can move forward. But I will link the Cash App and the PayPal to the description, or maybe in the comments. If you choose to, help us, and donate to the channel or to the situation, that's wonderful, and we are extremely grateful for that. That being said, let's move on to the story today. There's a lot of organizations, right, in the prison system. This is one of those that it's comical in a sense when you think about it, but any quote-unquote gang is a dangerous entity, and this is no different. There was a spike. Like, for a long time, there wasn't a lot of gangs in my state, man. I talk about this quite a bit. This is a very recent thing, the last, I'd say, 15 years. There was a spike in people clicking up, starting gangs, starting little racial groups, things like that. Before, it was just where you were from, what city you were from, and what part of the state, north, south, east, west. Then you had your racial groups that's always been there. It's always been kind of a thing, man. You had the white boys that thought they were, Adolf Hitler. You had your 5 percenters, which was the 5% of Islam, which are completely racist. Luna, come here. No. So, that being said, some of these organizations would like to prey on individuals. They're very predatory. They weren't the type of organizations that were built on anything but just taking advantage of weaker, less organized inmates. A lot of these people just watch a little too much Gangland and a little too much BET, or a little too much whatever. They weren't even real, half of them. They weren't sanctioned by the top California organizations to start these gangs, but they did anyway. Now, one thing that I want to make very clear, I don't care what a person chooses to do with their life. This is not a video to discriminate or to hate speech anybody for their beliefs or their way of life or whatever. I never do that. That's your choice. So I wanted to get that out. Second of all, I just tell stories, man. This is just from what I saw, as far as a perspective, right? So you also had, with the influx of these organizations, you also had a real spike in open and blatant homosexuality. You had a lot of trans people coming into the system. Now, it's odd to see, as you are an inmate, when you're surrounded by nothing but men, you have an individual come in that's on the hormones, that's got the titties and the butt and the things. Now, when they stop taking those enhancers, when they start to look like dudes, for real look like dudes. Not to say they don't look like dudes while they're taking them, because they really do. To me, they look like dudes that think they're women or something. I don't know. It's weird. But as they're coming in, they're getting preyed upon, they're getting victimized, they're getting made to do things, carry in the sack, or, you know, boof, or, you know, put it in the Louis bag or the Gucci bag, as we call it, right? Excuse me, it's starting to rain out here. I might have to move this video inside. Come here, baby. No, don't be over there. I'll tell a quick story. There was an individual, we got on the bus, the transit bus, and I was going to, when I say that, it sent us to another prison. When this happens, you're going to meet at the bullpen, which is Powhatan. Everybody's going to get on the bus that they're supposed to be on and get shipped to their prison. Well, there was this 6'2", 6'3", tall, gigantic man that thought he was a woman, even though they were like Terrell Owens. And, well, he's sitting there on the bus, kind of acting funny, man. I noticed that. I told my stick man, I said, hey, look, what's up with dude, man? Well, something happened along the way to, I guess, shifted wrong or something, where he had something suitcased and it moved inside of his rectum and turned. Well, turns out he starts screaming. I mean, like, ah, you know, like, oh my God, oh my God. The guards, I mean, you're in the middle of a transit. You cannot stop it. You know, there's no bathroom breaks. None of that shit's jumping off, man. So when they figure it all out and find out what's going on, this guy had taken one of these big White Rain shampoo bottles and packed it full of dope and weed or cigarettes or whatever he had in there, and had put it in his ass. Now, throughout the course of that ride, when you're sitting there with the shackles on or whatnot, something happened where he moved, and that bottle had shifted in his asshole, making it sideways almost. So I can't even imagine the type of pain that he was experiencing. They'd take this guy to the hospital and somehow get that shampoo bottle out of his ass. Now, that is like an extreme form of suitcasing something. Normally, I've suitcased things, but it's been a pack about this big. Something very small. Suboxone, or maybe it's some cigarettes or dope or whatever it is I was trying to get back in to where I could break it down and sell it in the institution. That's one thing. That's a balloon and it's soft. To take a shampoo bottle and put it in your ass and then think that you're going to walk around life normal, that's a whole different degree of like, but that could have been, and that could have also been, it could have been made to do that. And this is what I'm getting to. By other organizations and other individuals telling these guys, listen, you used to putting stuff in your ass, like you're going to take all this dope, put it in your ass, and take it to the next institution and give it to such and such. And just to put your head around that, right? You're just doing your time, you're minding your business, watching some TV. Some dude rolls down on you and says, hey, look, right, I need you to pack this shampoo bottle full of all this stuff and put it in your ass and go. I'm like, nah, I'm not doing that. But some people didn't have a choice. Some people, they just didn't have a voice. Stop. Sorry, you guys know I'm dealing with a puppy, man. She's into everything. Come here, baby. Luna, come here, baby. Come here, baby. Come here. Come here. Want to say hi? Want to say hi? Come here. Say hi. Say hi. Come here. Say hi. Come here. I know. All right. So, this is why some of these organizations get formed, okay? This is why the gay boy gangsters got started. They were basically tired of being used as mules. They were tired of being used as blow-up dolls. They were tired of being used for this, that, and the third. But the problem is, no one's really going to buy your gangster, bro, right? And you guys at home might think, okay, well, you know, it's funny, but I know some homosexual men that are treacherous, that will put a knife in you quick, that can fight. And the last thing you want to do is take a L from a dude who's a known homosexual. That's why I don't even get into beef with them dudes, man. I'm not gonna argue with them. I'm not gonna talk about anything that's gonna be conflicting. I might have to deal with them, because they do play a role in the prison system. Contrary to what people might think, they're not just sitting off to the side. They definitely play a role in the prison system. They're used to traffic stuff. They're used to create a diversion. They're used for a lot of different things. Everyone in prison has a use. And these guys are no different. So they started to form this little organization called the GBGs, and they were called the Gay Boy Gangsters. And you'd be surprised how many of these guys there were. There was quite a few of them. And at first, it was kind of a joke. I was everyone's kind of whatever. But by them being allowed, they never should have been allowed to start any type of clique, because when they were allowed to start it, in their minds, they were like, okay, we're getting respect. It wasn't really respect, bro. It was more like, let's see how this plays out. You know what I'm saying? Most of us were I was a member of an organization. Other people that were members of organizations were like, let's just see how it pans out, right? Because it's prison. There's not a lot going on. So anything that could be either comical or binge-worthy, you're going to do it, right? You're going to watch it. So this is where the demise came. So I would say they had a good 6 to 8 month run of where they were getting a little bit of revenue. They were doing things. They were trying to make a little name for themselves. They'd even jumped a couple people. Nobody's serious yet, though. Well, the problem with most of homosexual men is that they're very loud and flamboyant. So that's what they were getting. They're doing all the head snaps and all the things, and right, ain't nobody gonna do nothing with me. I'm GBG, remember all the things. You're not really a gangster, bro. You're just a turd burglar who is allowed to walk around us. It's just straight up, Well, they got into a situation with one of the bigger organizations, right? I'm not gonna say which one because, like I said, I'm trying to do that too much. But I knew off the break that this was gonna be a bad situation, right? I knew something was gonna happen here. For the life of me, I don't understand what would possess these guys. Their little leadership. So they had the regular GBGs, and you had the big homies of the GBGs, and that was their lieutenants or whatever little thing that they come up with. Now, they met on the yard with this other organization, right? And they're trying to come to terms, because nobody wants to go to war. War is expensive. War with any group is going to, one, you can mess up money on the yard. Two, you got guys that are going to end up in the hole, going to go to SEG, going to get transferred. You lose usually more than what you stand to gain by, especially going to war with a bunch of gumps. That's not going to work. It's not going to work at all, bro. It's just a bad look for everybody. And they met on the yard, and I could tell that the big homie for the other organization was kind of getting irritated with the fact that he has to politic with these dudes anyway. So he was like, listen, I'm not gonna stay in here and argue with you. I'm not gonna do it. You're gonna do this, you're gonna make it right, or we're gonna have a problem. And you don't want these problems, right? So after it's all said and done, whatever, I don't know exactly what was conversed about because I wasn't in the middle of the conversation. But I do know the very next day that this other organization on the yard had all their guys. When you have all your guys come out, because nobody really goes to rec all the time. But when you see everybody come out, that means there's a situation. And they're all wearing jackets. It's 70 degrees outside. You're wearing a jacket. You're wearing a jacket because you have something hidden in it. Now, something we used to do was we'd make these bodysuits out of these. We'd take our jackets and fill them with magazines and books around our vitals. These coats, they have a seam, an inseam in them, and you could cut that inseam and pack that full of books and magazines. So if you get stabbed, it's not going to go through there. At least not to your vital areas. You zip it up, and it's basically it's like an armor, right? Now, it's a very smart move because, it's not good to get stabbed in the liver or something where you can possibly be taken out of here. Here come the GBGs, wide open, got the little bandanas tied crazy, the little shorts cut short and shit. Like, I never liked that, dude. Like, when these guys would come outside with their shorts bend over and shit like that. Like, nobody wants to see that, bro. You're a whole man. You're a whole entire man. You're not a woman, bro. You know what I'm saying? So they really thought that nothing was going to happen. They thought they're not taking, like, they felt, I think in their mind, they thought that they weren't taken seriously enough to where there was going to be a certain degree of violence that was going to be displayed against them, but they were completely wrong. And I think there was like 10 or 15 of these GBGs came out. They were talking shit, being loud, being obnoxious, and this other organization sent everything they had at them. That was the last day of the GBGs. It's the last I ever heard of them. There was no more GBGs after that day. They were mopped up completely, beaten inches of their lives, stomped out. And what you have to realize is that they had talked so much shit that these dudes were they was taking everything out on them. Like, oh yeah, because at the end of the day, they're still men. They're men. They're dudes. You can't just like slap them like you would. You know what I'm saying? If you was into that, if you was into like hitting women, if you was into that, you don't punch them. You know, you don't hit them. Period. But if you know what I'm saying? But like, these are not women. These are grown ass men that can hurt you. So they were taken seriously that day, and they were completely demolished within minutes. All that gay boy gangster shit was taken off of the yard. I never heard about it. I never saw another one. I never heard them screaming. They were in the infirmary for weeks, some of them months. Some of you never saw again. And the administration really didn't care. They didn't do anything to them guys. They locked the yard down. They sent a couple people to SAG for a couple days, but they let them out. Nobody was really feeling that. There's protocol, man. There's certain lines that you shouldn't cross in the Department of Corrections. That's one of them, I believe. We already have to deal with the fact that they're protected for the most part, most of the time. Like, they're going to be as loud as they want to be. They act like they're entitled, just like they do out here. Just like a lot of them do out here, they do in there. But you're not out here. You're in prison. The rules are different. The rules are much different. And they learned a real hard lesson that day. Much love to the Gladiator Gang. Salute to all the A1s from day one. And as always, stay up, stay out, and stay sucker free, baby. Till next time, let's go.